Good morning to everybody and welcome. We will call to order this regular meeting of the Lawrence County Board of Commissioners. Today is Tuesday, April 2, 2024. Welcome everybody who is attending or maybe viewing online. And I will note that this meeting is being recorded. Also would ask if you have any type of an electronic communication device, if you'd be kind enough to put it on vibrate or silent, we would appreciate that courtesy. We have a very special guest with us today. Tim West is with us, but he's shadowing Commissioner Sanada. So if, Chris, you don't mind, would you like to introduce Tim?
Sure, thank you, Chairman Vogler. Tim is a senior at Shenango High School, and he's here to learn about the operation of the county. And this will be my second student I've had this year, and I think it's a good experience. Tim couldn't have picked a busier day. We've had him running since 8:30 this morning, and once he leaves me, today he's going to be visiting some of the other row officers to learn what they do up here. So Tim will hopefully get you a good experience that you can take with you. So,
thank you.
Thank you for taking an interest in the county.
Tim, we're very glad to have you, and you're getting ready to graduate in a few months.
Yeah.
Any schools picked out yet?
Geneva College.
That's good. Not far from here, right down the road.
Glad. I couldn't do a 40-minute commute. I would lose my mind.
So you'll plan to live on campus, is that your intent?
I'm still bouncing between whether I am or not.
I see. Okay. Well, and some of you might know Tim's grandfather is Tim Buck. You know, Tim, the chairman of the County Democratic Committee, who's a real gentleman. So please give him our best. But Chris, thank you for bringing Tim to today's meeting. We always begin the meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance, and then we'd ask you to remain standing for a moment of silence. Commissioner Kennedy, could you lead us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Will you please remain standing? We'll have a moment of silence. Thank you all very much. Melissa, could I ask you to call the roll, please?
Commissioner Sanada?
Here.
Commissioner Kennedy?
Here.
Commissioner Vogler?
Here. We have a quorum. And as we do each week, we have two periods in the agenda where we have opportunities for public comment. One in just a few moments and then one before we adjourn the meeting. You're welcome to speak both times. If you'd like to just speak once, that's okay. And if you're just here to listen and observe, that's also okay. We do ask that your comments be related to county government matters. And if you can try to limit your time to around 5 minutes or so, we'd appreciate that courtesy. So thank you all. Item 2 on the agenda, I do want to make sure everybody got a copy of the agenda. Tim, did you not get one? There's one. There should be one on the table if you'd like to follow along. And anybody else needs one? I think Vanessa has some there. Item 2, we always set aside time for any of our elected row officers who may be joining us for anything they would like to talk about. But today we don't have any with us. So that will lead us to item 3 on the agenda, which is public comment. So I'll open the floor. If you have a comment, we'll call on you, and if you could identify yourself, then we can hear what you have to say. Mrs. Burchett.
I have a question and a comment. This is the second time I've seen this high school senior come to the courthouse and observe. I wonder how these people get chosen and what's the whole, procedure.
May I call on Mr. Sanada, if you'd be so kind, Chris?
Yes, I've had 2 of them from Shenango, and first one, the teacher called and said that a student would be interested, and we accepted them. And then I got a call that Tim was interested as well, another Shenango student. So it's pretty much, I guess, word of mouth. But the first one was Mr. Cooper from Shenango High School actually called and said, "Do you do that?" And I said, and I was new, and Commissioner Vogler said, "Sure, it's a process that is opened up to anybody who'd like to do it." So We just need them to contact us, whether it's me or Commissioner Kennedy or Commissioner Vogler. They're welcome to do it, and I think it's a good experience for them. And that's personally, this is my second, and it started with the teacher at Shenango calling because we had a student who was interested in government, county government. So we want to leave that opportunity to any of the schools who, felt that someone did. I felt that having them here on a Tuesday, we're stay to do that because we have our county commissioner meeting and usually other meetings, and to give them an opportunity to see how the operation of government works. So that's pretty much the process, Mrs. Virginia.
Well, I appreciate that you do this, and I appreciate the young fellows, the young people who are interested, because we're just getting interested now, and that's kind of late in the game. My comment is to the commissioners and to other people on the committee for the 175th anniversary. I did understand that the flags and the mementos are made by local artisans and local businesses, and I appreciate the fact that they're American made and local made.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Other comments at this time? Hearing none, once again, we'll reopen it before we adjourn. Under fiscal and contractual, as we do at most meetings, we have in our packet, and these documents are available. If anybody wishes to see them, we'll be glad to share them with you. We have the warrant registers, also known as the check reconciliation registers, which are provided to us by the county controller's office. There are three of them today that we'll be looking at: March 25, March 27, and March 28. And I'll give my colleagues whatever time they might need to look them over. And then if you gentlemen have any concerns, please raise them. Otherwise, whenever you're ready, I can take a motion to accept these documents.
I move we accept the documents.
I'll second.
Thank you both, gentlemen. And if there are no other questions or concerns, we'll ask for a roll call, please.
Commissioner Sinata,
Yes.
Commissioner Kennedy,
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler,
Yes.
motion carries.
Thanks, Vanessa. The minutes of the March 26th Commissioners' meeting are in our packets. Once again, gentlemen, please take whatever time you might need to review them, and then whenever you're ready, I could take a motion for us to adopt the minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second.
Thank you both, gentlemen. And if there are no questions or concerns about the minutes, we'll have a roll call, please.
Commissioner Sinata,
Yes.
Commissioner Kennedy,
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler,
Yes?
motion carries.
Thank you. We have three documents that have come in during the last week that we are placing on the agenda as written communications. The first is notification from the Pennsylvania Department of Environmental Protection. It's notification of a planned land development for Chapter 102 permits. The applicant is Columbia Gas of Pennsylvania, based in Bridgeville. Columbia Gas is proposing to install approximately 2,600 linear feet of 4-inch plastic gas pipeline. This is known as the TC Ready Mix Pipeline Project, located in the city of Newcastle. And this is simply noting that law requires that the county be notified in matters such as this. We don't have any approval authority. It's simply that we are required, it is required that we be notified of this particular undertaking. The next document is from Civil and Environmental Consultants, Inc., based in Moon Township, Allegheny County. And this is a notification that Zambelli Fireworks is submitting a closure certification of the Hazardous Waste Treatment, Storage, and Disposal Permit, PAR 00522326, to the Pennsylvania Department of Environmental Protection Northwest Regional Office for Zambelli's facility located at 782 Garner Road in Mahoning Township. Project description: facility operations include fireworks sorting, storage, and repackaging for use during shows. Damaged fireworks shells that remain unfired following a show are brought back to the facility and evaluated for repairs. Unrepairable fireworks are managed and disposed of as hazardous waste. The facility is closing the permit that I listed for the hazardous waste thermal treatment unit. And it's also noted here that the Township of Mahoning has been given similar notification. And this is signed by Emily Day, project manager, and Paul Tomaszek, I hope I pronounced his name right, vice president of Civil and Environmental Consultants. The third document is we're being notified that Mr. Thomas Kirkwood, 2606 Harlemsburg Road in Scott Township, intends to submit a PAG-04 NOI permit application to amend current individual NPDES permit to their permit classification to the Department of Environmental Protection. Description of activity: this permit allows the discharge of treated sewage to surface waters of the Commonwealth and or construction of the facility. The proposed activities will take place in Scott Township. And again, the county is simply made aware of this. We don't have any regulatory authority over it, but we do need to make note of receipt, and we are entering into the record at this meeting. Those are the three written communications that we've received, gentlemen. Could I have a motion, please, to accept them?
I move we accept the resolution.
Second.
Thank you both. Any concerns or comments, Chris or Dan, about the documents? Hearing none, we'll take a roll call, please.
Commissioner Sinata,
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler, I'm sorry, Commissioner Kennedy,
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Next on the agenda, we have commissioner reports and comments. Today, Mr. Sonata gets to go first.
Thank you, Chairman Vogler. I think it's been a great week, I think, for Lawrence County, and I'm sure my two colleagues will probably comment as well. Last Thursday, we had the opportunity to participate in the groundbreaking ceremony out at Stonecrest Industrial Park, which was the Stonecrest Golf Course out at New Beaver Borough. And to see over 100 people show up, we had Rich Fitzgerald there, head of SDC and former county executive in Allegheny County. I saw a few of my former colleagues from the legislature, Matt Smith, who's very active with the chamber down in Allegheny County, as well as Lieutenant Governor Austin Davis, and to see the excitement, I believe, that was in the air that day. And I felt very positive about that. That's something we haven't seen in a long time. A commitment from outside the area with financial wherewithal. And that's important because the gentleman who's making the investment, Mr. How do I sound that name? Lacarte. Mr. Lacarte, he's been successful in other counties doing what's being done here. So it was it was a very positive day for all of us, I think, as elected officials, as well as community leaders and Forward Lawrence and everybody who participated. They actually did a very nice job with it. I know the golf course is gone, but the potential for job opportunities, and at the end of the day, revenue coming into Lawrence County. And the message that day was, and I think it's so important that we talk about that message, is transportation access that Lawrence County has. They didn't just pick this spot because they wanted to come to Lawrence County. They looked at the map, they understood, and that we were close to the turnpike. The turnpike makes us close to 79 and 80. And Commissioner Vogler always uses that analogy about roads, that we're so fortunate to have all those roads either in Lawrence County or very close to it. So, Mr. LaCarte, you mentioned that many times. I think that's something we overlook. And I'm hoping that message that gets out there because of this gets to other potential investors who go look at Lawrence County. And Shannick, Scott, Slippery Rock, Union, they have roads going through their municipalities that would make it easier for businesses to locate in Lawrence County. So I think that's such an important aspect of what happened. I think it needs to be talked about in a positive light. I know that once this is done, and project ready is key. A lot of times when companies look, they're ready to go. They want it shovel ready, and they want more building up that they can go into. It's been successful in many other places, and I think it can be very successful here. And it would send a message to others out there, hey, Lawrence County's open for business, and we all work, we're all on the same page. I think that's the message we need to send. And I think that day we did send a message, a very positive message that, hey, Lawrence County is open for business, and we want to see some things happen. And every municipality, city of Newcastle especially, they can piggy off this as well. So I just thought that's going to be my comment for this week, because I left there was I felt really good about it when you left there, because you saw the enthusiasm that was in the air. And I'll be honest with you, I thought we were going to have about 20 people there for the groundbreaking. When I saw those people there, over 100, and some of the people that came in, these were some heavy hitters. So that's telling you that this project has a great chance of succeeding. And for our perspective, we're going to be cheerleaders sometimes to get that message out that we're open for business, and hey, it's a great opportunity. It's flat land, it's near the turnpike, and access to roads. So that's my comment for the week.
Thank you, Commissioner Sanada. I get to go next. Let me add to what you said, just a couple of things. That Route 18 corridor in southern Lawrence County is a little bit of a hidden gem. There are numerous employers, numerous businesses between the Beaver County line as you move north. You've got Aileron, they may have a different name now, the Aileron Corporation. What you cannot see from State Route 18 is a large facility that the Pennsylvania American Water Company built probably about 8 or 10 years ago. It's a water treatment facility, but it's also in New Beaver Borough. And there are a number of other businesses, Youngblood Paving, and I've known Larry for a long time. He's married to a relative of mine, but I remember when they were just getting started, basically had a pickup truck. And look how they've grown through the years. And there are, again, numerous other businesses right on that Route 18 corridor that we tend to forget about. And proof that we have a lot of good small and medium-sized businesses in this county that employ a lot of people. I also want to thank you, and I'm sure I speak for Commissioner Kennedy, you were kind enough over the last couple of days to represent us at a couple of different functions that we were not able to get to. I know you went Saturday morning, the ribbon cutting for the softball field from Newcastle Area School District. I know that last evening you represented us at the East Side Crime Watch, Neighborhood Watch program. And I'm forgetting one other. I know there was something else you went to on our behalf. So I want to thank you for, do you remember what that other one was? I'm drawing a blank.
I did a few things. I did the prayer walk downtown.
Yes.
It's an annual tradition. And, they have the Victory Church have anything. Newcastle High School, there must have been 400 or 500 So it just, there was a lot of activity in Lawrence County this weekend. I would be talking an hour if we talked all the positive things I observed, but,
Well, and no, but I do appreciate you're taking the time, and then, if I'm not mistaken, on, I believe it's tomorrow, and we're going in about 5 different directions tomorrow. I've got a Conservation District Board meeting. Mr. Kennedy, and I'm not gonna steal your thunder, but Mr. Kennedy has a meeting he's attending in Pittsburgh. We've all been invited to a ribbon cutting out in Union Township, Sports Clips. Did I get that right? Sports Clips? But I don't know if you'll make it back in time. I don't think I'll be able to go. I hope you're going.
yeah, I would be one.
So once again, thank you for representing us, and I don't know, maybe you'll be able to get back for it, but we do appreciate that, Chris. And the final thing I'll close with before I turn it over to Commissioner Kennedy, we just earlier this morning at 9 o'clock had a very nice ceremony out in the lobby here. The Children's Advocacy Center had their, and Scott was there attending. They had their annual child abuse prevention ceremony. April is the month of child abuse prevention. And we want to thank Jeanette Rice and her team and everybody who attended that ceremony. Attorney Jonathan Miller, Assistant District Attorney, was the keynote speaker. So yeah, you're right. A lot of good things are happening. Commissioner Kennedy, I'll turn it over to you.
I'll echo what Chris said, except for a couple of things. One thing is, we had the new Beaver Borough mayor and his secretary, his wife. We can't forget talking to them. For wouldn't be for the new woman, or the new Beaver Borough Council getting all the permits for this thing to go, this thing would have never, they could have stopped it instantly. So our hats off to them and thank them for what they did to make sure this thing went through. The other person I want to thank, and I think you guys will realize, Ben Bush did a tremendous job for being a new guy. He's a little bit older than I am on working, but a new guy with the county government, with Forward Lawrence and the Lawrence County Economic Board. He did a tremendous job down there with getting this all set up and making sure that everything went smooth. So hats off to Ben and his whole team down there for what they did. It was an exciting day for Lawrence County. I think it's a moving point. With that, board lunch this Friday is the impact awards at the Crane Room, or the New Englander facility for breakfast. So we'll be, I know you two can't attend it, but I'll be there with a crew from the courthouse. And we're going to go up and show an impact from the courthouse on this too. So that'll be interesting. You said tomorrow I'm going to meet with the Secretary of Transportation down in Pittsburgh. So it'll be an interesting conversation. As Dan has said for a long time, and I agree with him, some of the back state roads, the secondary state roads in this county, have been neglected, and that'll be one of the points I bring up to them. We really need to start looking at more Lawrence County, and we've been just set aside, I think, for years, and I'll be addressing that one and see what we get from there. But it's been an exciting week. This morning was exciting. I figured there'd be 10, 15 people down here, and the beach couldn't move around. Joe had to direct me around the back area that I didn't even know there was a back area back there, but we got around and got through. But, it looks like another interesting week coming up, so we don't have a slow moment here at all. I don't think today we've got stuff going on. We're busy up to about 4 o'clock. So thank you, both you guys for it. And Chris, thank you for this weekend. I had family commitments. When you got 2 daughters, they kind of drive you crazy at times, but you do what you got to do. They needed dad to help them do a couple of things. So thanks, Chris, for getting that done.
Thank you, Dan. And you know, Chris represented us at a couple of things, and you'll be doing likewise on Friday, which we appreciate. We're transitioning a little bit as it relates to the counties sitting on the board of the Northwest Pennsylvania Regional Planning Commission. I've been on that board for about 4 years now. In fact, I currently chair the board. My term as board chair will finish up at the end of June. And when we took office earlier this year, we agreed that Commissioner Kennedy would be our lead representative to the Southwest Pennsylvania Planning Commission. I would conclude my responsibilities mid-year, and then Commissioner Sonata would replace me as a member of that board. So on Friday of this week, the Northwest Commission is having a planning session. It's not a public meeting, it's a planning session for the board members and the staff. And they've invited Commissioner Sonata to join us because, again, he'll be coming on that board in a few months. So Chris and I will both be up in Venango County, which we really are glad you're able to represent us at the Forward Lawrence. And of course, you're on their board too. And I totally agree with you about Ben Bush. He and his staff, that was a well-organized event last week in New Beaver Borough, and they really pulled it off. Ben can be proud of his success. So thank you, gentlemen. The first item on today's agenda is from the Department of Public Safety. However, a couple of reasons they're not here. Mr. Strobel is just slightly under the weather and asked if he could be excused. And then normally his deputy, Mr. Hoover, would join us, but they're staying close to the facility. You know, we've got some tricky weather happening in the next 24, 48 hours. So they asked if we could table this proposed resolution. Now, here's where I need your help, Vanessa. Do we assign it a number today and then table it? I assume we do. Okay, so what number would this be?
66.
66, thank you. And this is an agreement with the Association of Public Safety Communications Officials International. But Mr. Strobel indicated that it can wait a week. So, and he anticipates that either he or Mr. Hoover will be here at next week's meeting. That being said, gentlemen, could I have a motion to table this resolution, please?
So be it.
I'll second.
Thank you both. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Sinata?
Yes.
Commissioner Kennedy?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Motion carries.
My apologies to Chris and Dan. Did either of you wish to say anything about that? Okay, thank you. Excuse me for not recognizing it. We have two proposed resolutions from the assessment office, and our chief assessor, Mr. J.R. Hardister, is with us. Good morning, J.R.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Hope you're well.
Doing well for a Monday, take two.
Okay. Well, sir, you have two resolutions, both of which are agreements with the firm of San Martino, Stout, and Lopresti. But I'll let you fill in the details. The first, both of these, I guess, are located in Neshannock Township. So let's start with number 67, which is Fleming Steel, please.
Asking for the commissioners to enter into a contract with San Martino, Stout, and Lopresti. They are an appraisal firm out of Erie, Pennsylvania, to perform an expert report on the Fleming Steel property on Old Pulaski Road. Fleming Steel filed an assessment appeal this past fall, and they were not happy with the decision of the Board of Assessment Appeals, so they appealed it up to the Court of Common Pleas. At the first pre-hearing conference, the three taxing bodies represented by their solicitors have agreed that we needed to come up with our own expert report to argue against the property owner's expert report. So even though they are considered a professional service and the county is not required to do an RFP or an official bid process, I do request 3 quotes from appraisal firms throughout Pennsylvania. So I did send out 3 quotes. And the one that we felt most comfortable with was the one submitted by San Martino, Stout, and Lopresti. County Solicitor Jason Woodward did review both of these contracts. And everything I'm saying now, I'm just going to ditto on the next one, so I'm going to repeat myself. But he did review each and every one of the contracts and is satisfied, along with the solicitors for both Neshannock Township and the Neshannock Area School District. To jump ahead to Dan's next question, the other 2 taxing bodies have already given me written approval through an email that they are okay with it. And the way we split the cost between the three taxing bodies based off of the allocation of the tax revenue. So the school district in this case will have the biggest burden of the report, followed by the county, then followed by the township.
JR, is the $2,250 the total amount that will be split three ways, or is that amount the county share?
That's the total amount split three ways.
Thank you.
If we do go to have an actual hearing or trial, there will be an additional cost for the appraiser to testify, but we will cross that bridge if we get there. Very few of these have entered into any type of litigation other than just communication between the property owner's attorney and the taxing bodies.
Thank you, sir. Let me see again, we're talking specifically proposed resolution 67, which is the Fleming Steel property in the Shannock Township. Mr. Kennedy, do you have questions for Mr. Hardison? No. Thank you, sir. Mr. Sanada? No. Thank you. So JR, you're recommending that we take action on this, is that correct?
Yes.
Thank you. May I have a motion, please, for proposed resolution 67?
I move we support resolution 67.
Second.
Thank you both, gentlemen. If there are no other comments or discussion, I'll request a roll call, please.
Commissioner Sinata,
Yes.
Commissioner Kennedy,
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler,
Yes.
motion carries.
Thank you. And then proposed resolution 68 involves the property of the Newcastle Battery. And this was also in the Shannock Township, so I'll let you fill us in again. As you said, a lot of this is repetitive, applicable for this proposal as it was for the one we just voted on.
Everything I said about Fleming is true here, other than it's just a different property. Same process, they went through the hearing, we were not satisfied with the board's decision, filed it up to the Court of Common Pleas, and then once the three taxing bodies met, we felt it was in our best interest to obtain an expert report to argue against their expert report. The cost is just a little bit different on this one.
Yeah, this one I notice is $3,250. I'm assuming, is it a more complex matter? Is it a larger property that necessitates the slightly higher amount?
Yes, it's much larger, a little more difficult of a report.
I see. Okay, thank you. And again, it'll be split three ways. Commissioner Sanada, do you have any questions for JR?
Yeah, what is the property there, JR?
The Newcastle Battery,
Oh,
it's the former Newcastle Battery. It's owned by Stephen and Hoy and Stephen Warner.
okay, so it's a former Newcastle.
Yes.
Okay.
Now it is just kind of a mixed-use property where it's split up with multiple different tenants and used as warehouse, office space. I do believe there is a proposed project going in there within the next year from the lumber company.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Mr. Kennedy?
Nothing.
Okay, thank you. Gentlemen, if you don't have any other questions, I could take a motion then for proposed resolution 68.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 68.
I'll second.
Thank you both. If there are no other comments, we'll take a roll call, please.
Commissioner Sinata,
Yes.
Commissioner Kennedy,
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler,
Yes.
motion carries.
Thank you, Vanessa. JR, got anything else for us?
Not today.
All righty, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome to stick around, but if you have to head upstairs, we understand. Thank
Have a
you.
good day, gentlemen.
Thanks.
Gentlemen, we have a resolution from last week that we placed on the table from Mental Health and Developmental Services. Would you object if we jump ahead out of respect for Mr. Baldwin's schedule and take it up now? Is that okay with both of you?
I'm fine with that.
Okay, thank you. Scott, if you'd like to come forward. Scott Baldwin is the director of the Mental Health Developmental Services Office. Last week, we had a proposed resolution. Are we assigning it a number today, Vanessa?
Yes.
Okay, and that would be 69. This is proposed resolution 69, and this involves an amendment to a contract with the Human Services Center. Scott, we'll let you fill us in, please.
Yeah, so just a quick backstory on this funding. We were notified about a year and a half ago by the Western OMSAS office that there were forensic mental health dollars available at the state and that we were encouraged to apply for them. So we put a plan together for some transitional housing individuals who would leave the jail, who would historically have been homeless, we started a program, we submitted a proposal for a program with Human Services Center to house these individuals. Because when they're homeless, the likelihood of them of reoffending are high. So we put a plan together with that. We also included in that plan our 2 co-responders that we currently have at the district attorney's office. And the state approved it in full. We asked for $995,000 and we were given all of that. But as the state issues those monies, we didn't get them till later in the fall of last year, around October. They actually hit our account. So we got $995,000 this year. And the good news is that $745,000 of that is annualized. So we can sustain these programs with these new dollars. So that was wonderful news for us. And Human Services Center has done our residential programs for years. They own property that we can renovate. They do it at a great cost. So, and not many people want to do forensic work. So we're fortunate to have a provider that likes to partner with us. So that's what I'm here today. Their current contract for this fiscal year is at $4,095,294. We are requesting that go up to $4,420,294. That's an increase of $325,000. And that again is to do some renovations, it's to hire some staff to run this bridge housing program.
Well, we appreciate that thorough and helpful information, Scott. I'll start by seeing if Commissioner Kennedy has any questions. Thank you, Dan. Commissioner Sanada? Thank you. And as I think it's worth noting, you touched on it, that these are state dollars coming into us that will then be forwarded to Human Services Center. Our county general fund budget is not affected by this.
It's just, it all goes right into our state block grant dollars.
Thank you for noting that. Well, once again, Scott, we appreciate all the background on this. May I have a motion for proposed resolution 69?
So be it.
I'll second.
Thank you, Dan, and thank you, Chris. If there are no other questions, we'll have a roll call, please.
Commissioner Sinata,
Yes.
Commissioner Kennedy,
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler,
Yes?
motion carries.
Thanks, Vanessa. Scott, thank you, sir.
Thank you, guys.
Glad you were here today. We appreciate it. It was good seeing you this morning earlier.
Thank you.
Next on the agenda, we're going to go back now to item 4, a budget amendment from the Veterans Office, the Veterans Affairs Office. Looks as though there was some type of a $500 refund was brought in.
It was a donation
Oh,
from PA Water to our veterans office.
how nice.
So in order to accept it, we have to amend the budget.
No, that's great. So it was
Yes.
unanticipated revenue,
Yes.
and we're applying it to the appropriate line item as far as income, for lack of a better term, or revenue. And then we're earmarking it by increasing the Veterans Office's other services general fund expense account line item by the same amount. Oh, there it is, right there. It's right in front of me.
Yes.
Donation from PA American Water. So we thank them. And this is proposed resolution 70. Chris, do you have any questions or concerns?
Oh, straightforward.
Thank you. Mr. Kennedy?
I'm good.
Okay, thank you. Would one of you care to make a motion for proposed resolution 70?
I move that we accept resolution 7.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Dan. If there are no other comments, we'll take a roll call, please.
Commissioner Sinata,
Yes.
Commissioner Kennedy,
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler,
Yes?
motion carries.
Thank you. The next items on the agenda are transfer requests. Let me walk through them. Stop me at any time if you have a question or concern, and then if we get to the end, if you're so willing, we can take them as a group.
Dan,
Yes, ma'am.
number 5 and 6 will need a resolution. They're not an admin transfer.
Oh, okay, thank you for pointing that out. So the first one being the jail, is that right?
Yes.
So the jail will be number 71?
Correct.
Okay, thanks, Vanessa. So we're looking at resolution number 71. The request is for a significant transfer, but once you hear the explanation, I think you'll see why. And it's coming from within Oh, this capital project, is this our line item or is it the jail's line item?
It's ours.
It's ours.
Yeah.
Okay, however, so it's coming from the capital projects line item, the amount being $45,940. It's being transferred to the jail's maintenance and repair line item to cover the costs of the installation and of the hot water storage tanks at the jail. This issue's been discussed at a number of prison board meetings. And I think we need to note that one way in which we're able to cover this cost, other than the fact it's already in the budget, but secondly, the jail has been bringing in a fair amount of revenue as a result of housing out-of-county inmates. And that's been very helpful for our budget. So I guess the bottom line is this is covered, for lack of a better term. Did I miss anything?
No, just that the hot water tanks that were in there were the original ones when the jail was built. Actually, they had to, I think before they put the roof on the jail, they lowered the hot water tanks in. So, and there was some protection around the tanks that you couldn't see, but we had some leakage, and when they took it off, the tanks needed replaced.
They were 30-year-old tanks.
Yeah.
I don't think too many people in their own home have a tank that lasts that long. So appreciate all that background. Commissioner Kennedy, anything you'd like to raise on this one?
Yeah, the one thing I want to raise, this price could be, if we had outside contractors do this price would have been a heck of a lot higher. These were our two maintenance guys over to jail. Chris and I toured it. We saw what they did. They had to get them tanks in the elevator and in there and out, and they did a tremendous job of getting this done. And I don't think we ever ran out of hot water.
No, we didn't. And I believe the original quote for tank removal and everything originally was going to cost over $100,000. So they knocked it down by a good $50,000 at least.
So these guys, the two great guys over there is the word that tells us all the time, but we got to see it firsthand. And a guy coming from where I came from, piping and doing what I did for a living for so many years, them guys did a great job. You couldn't ask for two better guys. I don't think. So it's nice that our own employees stepped up and did that too and saved us money. So.
I very much appreciate your pointing that out. Thank you. Anything else, Dan?
That's it.
Okay, thank you. Chris?
I'll just echo Commissioner Kennedy's comments. When we took the jail tour, the water tank was a topic of discussion. And these two gentlemen knew exactly what the issue was and how to get it done. And like you said, we save substantial amounts of money. If we can do stuff in-house, it's important that we have the type of employees that have that skill. Unfortunately, I don't have that skill. Commissioner Kennedy has some of that skill. We may have to have you assistant commissioner, but unfortunately, I don't. I don't know about you, Commissioner Coe.
Oh, not at all.
All right, but I do want to just echo these comments.
Don't tell the maintenance department that.
I'm lucky if I can work that light switch over there. This is proposed resolution 71, which we've talked about. May I have a motion, please?
So be it.
I'll second.
Thank you both, gentlemen. Joe, thanks for your help on this. We'll take a roll call, please.
Commissioner Sinata,
Yes.
Commissioner Kennedy,
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler,
Yes.
motion carries.
Thank you. The next item involves a formal resolution, which will be number 72. This is a transfer request in the amount of $9,650 coming from the opioid contingency line item going to the CYS drug test line item. The opioid advisory board, Joe, you chair that board right now, do you not? Okay. Am I to understand that at one point in time, the advisory board recommended to the commissioners that we earmark these dollars for these tests?
Yes, it went through the last year, the first grant applications, and CYS was listed as an applicant. Now, they didn't immediately need the money because of the state dollars that they had dedicated to that, but now they're at a point where they set up an account and wanted to draw the dollars down.
I appreciate your noting that. Again, these are dollars that the county has received, as has every county in the Commonwealth, as a result of legal settlements involving the opioid situation. It's a nationwide problem. So we have been receiving dollars from the Commonwealth and will continue to receive dollars from the Commonwealth. And again, that's happening in every county throughout Pennsylvania. This is proposed resolution 72. Commissioner Sanada, do you have any questions?
No.
Thank you. Commissioner Kennedy?
No.
Thank you, sir. May I have a motion then, please?
I move we accept the resolution.
Second.
Thank you both. If there are no other comments, we'll take a roll call, please.
Commissioner Sinata,
Yes.
Commissioner Kennedy,
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler,
Yes.
motion carries.
Thank you. The next two transfer requests are administrative, as Vanessa pointed out, so we'll go through both of them here. The first comes from the Public Defender's Office. They are requesting a $100 transfer from their contingency into that of the subscription line item to cover an increase in cost of the price of law books. And then Domestic Relations is asking for an $80, that's $80 transfer from their contingency into Office Minor line item for the final installation of office cameras. Gentlemen, if there are no questions, could I have a motion to approve both of these requests?
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
Thank you both. Any concerns or discussion? Hearing none, we'll do a roll call, please.
Commissioner Sinata,
Yes.
Commissioner Kennedy,
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler,
Yes.
motion carries.
Thank you. We're moving down now to, oh, you know what? I just realized I think I goofed up a little bit on the resolution for MHDS. It was on the table,
Right.
and I did not take a motion to take it off the table. I missed a step. So to make it appropriate, and so I apologize for missing that. We did vote on the resolution, but we didn't vote to take it off the table. May I have a motion then to take the MHDS resolution, which was number 69, I think?
Yes,
Yes, may I have a motion then, retroactive, I apologize, to take resolution 69 off of the table for final consideration?
I move we take resolution 69 off the table.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you both, gentlemen. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Sinata,
Yes.
Commissioner Kennedy,
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler,
Yes.
motion carries.
And as noted, the board did vote on that resolution. I'll take full blame for missing the fact that we didn't move to take it off the table. We've now done that, so I think we're clean. So, on a lighter note, I got out of the habit, but Joe and Vanessa would remember periodically under prior boards, every so often I'd throw out a little piece of Lawrence County trivia. So here's my trivia for the day. You've heard us talk numerous times about the fact that this street right out this door here is County Line Street, which was the old county line when Lawrence County was formed. This, where we're sitting right now, was Mercer County, and right across the street was Beaver County. That used to be the county line. And it extends out into the eastern part of the county as County Line Road. There's a street in Elwood City Borough that the county line parallels, and that's Division Avenue in Elwood City Borough. So if you're on one side of Division Avenue, you're in Beaver County, and if you cross Division Avenue, you're in Lawrence County. But here's the trivia, and I just happened to catch this within the last week. I was looking at a map, and in Perry Township, in the village of Wurtemberg, there is a small section of street called County Line Street, but the mailing address is Elwood City. So we have two County Line streets, and that County Line Street in Perry Township is actually the dividing line between Lawrence and Beaver. So next time you're down in Wurtemberg, you have to drive down River Road and make a left to find County Line Street. So there are actually two County Line streets in Lawrence County, one here in the city, and then of course County Line Road, which goes out into the eastern part. And then there's a little street in Perry Township called County Line Street. So there's your trivia for the day. Your life is complete now, Dan. Anyhow, that being said, a couple of announcements. Next week, a week from today, the commissioners will meet at 10 o'clock, April 9. Today at noon, is that still on, Joe?
It's still.
Thank you. There's a public meeting at noon today. The Lawrence County Opioid Advisory Board will meet here at noon. No, I think on item C, I don't know that that's correct. The West Central Job Partnership Governing Board meeting is actually a week from today.
That's next Tuesday, yeah.
Yeah, next Tuesday. So on April 9, the West Central Job Partnership Governing Board, which consists of the 3 Lawrence County Commissioners and the 3 Mercer County Commissioners, we will hold our quarterly meeting, and we rotate, we go back and forth. So this meeting next Tuesday is at 1:30 at the Mercer County Courthouse, and it's open to the public. And then finally, gentlemen, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe the Planning Commission meeting has been canceled. It's canceled, thank you. So the Planning Commission will not be meeting this month. They were scheduled to meet up in New Wilmington next Wednesday, but that meeting has been canceled. So thank you for your indulgence. I'm going to open the floor for any public comments or questions that anyone might have. Debbie?
I have a question. The 2 men you were talking about at the jail, what are their names?
2 maintenance fellows. Off the top of my head, we can get those names for you.
Okay. And who is drug tested at Children in Youth with those funds?
I'm sorry,
Who is drug tested at Children in Youth?
Joe, do you know the answer to that?
I do. It's parents, part of the process, if there's a history of drug use, before the child can go back to home or during even the treatment phase of it, the parents are drug tested on a regular basis.
Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. Anything else, Debbie? I've got your packet here for you. Other comments or questions at this time? Tim, we want to wish you well. We appreciate your being here today. I know Mr. Sanada has some other things lined up for you, but we do appreciate your joining us, and I hope this was a little bit educational for you.
Yes, thanks for having me today, guys.
You're very welcome. And we wish you nothing but continued success in your career. Thank you. Closing comments from my fellow commissioners, Mr. Sanada.
No, I think, like I said, it was a good week. Mr. Kenny, you are right, the mayor of Beaver Borough and his councilman did an outstanding job out there. I think it starts at that level and it works its way through all levels of government. Like I said, I want to see more of that happen to our communities.
Thank you very much. Mr. Kennedy.
One thing I do want to bring up, good friend of mine's business burned last week. And every fire department but 5 in Orange County were out there fighting the fire. And I've talked to Mike a couple, it's Mike Spaduti, with Beaver Contracting. Talked to Mike a couple times this past week and went out and saw him. He's doing well. He just can't thank enough people that came to help him even after. He said, boy, Orange County, the people come out of the woodwork to come help him. I don't even know a lot of these people. So speaks highly of the good people of Orange County. What they've done in the firemen that went out there in a pouring down rainstorm and helped fight this fire. So we thank all them gentlemen that were all volunteers that went out there and helped them out. So just wanted to make that note.
Appreciate that, Dale. Thank you. Joe or Vanessa, anything maybe we've forgotten? No. Okay, thank you all. Well, we appreciate you all being here today. And there being no other business to be brought before the board, I would request a motion to adjourn.
Adjourn.
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, the same sign. Motion carried. This meeting is adjourned, and Joe will turn off the computer. Thank you all.
No.